Ghost Socks. Today is a video that I picked out. I want to know this. I know y'all want to know this too. How does the SCP Foundation actually makes money? Because they be blowing stuff up. They be getting stuff that's not making sense. They be having people that don't make no sense either. They be making stuff that I don't know about. They be making shit that I be like, huh? And they be capturing shit I be like, huh? You know? Let's get this. Oh, it's by SCP Explain Stories and Animation. Like, comment down below to SCP Story and Animation. And like Ghost Socks. Yeah, like Ghost Socks. Ghost Socks. I like the sound of that. Yeah. Alright. Like, comment, and subscribe to me, the Ghost Socks, and let's get this shit started.
It is an old adage that money makes the world go round, and when you work for the SCP Foundation, that same money can keep the world from ending. Think for a second about the kind of absurd bills that the SCP Foundation racks up. They need to pay for the upkeep on hundreds of facilities while also paying for thousands of employees, as well as stipends for the families of the many members of personnel who are killed in the line of duty. They also need to pay for the equipment required to do their jobs, a lot of which they need to develop themselves, as well as the expenses of varied containment procedures for well over 6,000 different anomalies, each one requiring its own unique treatment. And that's not even factoring in the costs of their various experiments, vehicles, weaponry, and cover-up operations. To say the Foundation would need billions upon billions of dollars to do what they do is probably lowballing it. So today, we feel like asking the big question. How does the SCP Foundation make all this money? Because personally, we just don't think the biannual Foundation bake sale is going to cover the price tag on this thing. First, we're going to explore the different ways the Foundation probably brings in its obscene budget through more traditional means. But if you stick around to the end, we'll explore some of the much more strange and exciting ways the Foundation can financially exploit its vast cache of anomalies, as well as a way that you, that's right, you, can help. So buckle up as we tackle the most terrifying monster of all, budgeting. The most obvious means the Foundation has of scraping up a little extra cash is to cooperate with world governments. Obviously, the SCP Foundation isn't a puppet of the United Nations like the GOC. It operates with a high degree of autonomy that prevents its work from ever being biased by certain national or international interests. However, in order to do its work properly, it does collaborate with various governments across the globe. Naturally, as a result of this, it does receive assisted funding from governments when combating or containing anomalies that would present a threat to their national security. Think of it as a classic you scratch my back, I scratch yours situation. But seeing as people would notice every—
I don't want you to touch my back, bro. And girls, y'all got some long nails too. Y'all gonna scratch the shit out of me. You can pat my back. You scratching me, let me stop. We ain't fighting. I ain't hating no girls. Yeah, this conversation went off trail. What we talking about again?
Every single government on Earth farming out billions of dollars for seemingly no reason that the profit could account for, it's clear that this only accounts for one of the SCP Foundation's multiple income streams. Where else is all the money coming from? Well, a phrase you've probably heard a lot on the videos on this channel is front businesses. As any members of the Mafia in our audience will already know, a front business is a seemingly legitimate company used to hide the operations of a more secretive or illicit business going on behind the scenes. Typically, it's a boon for organized crime syndicates who need to justify the purchases of certain personnel or equipment or launder ill-gotten gains into clean, legitimate taxable revenue streams. Cause trust us, kids, the only three letters scarier than SCP are IRS. The SCP Foundation makes use of a huge number of front organizations to both hide its operations and supplement its income, from chemical plants to office buildings to local bakeries. It is impossible to know just how many normal industries technically answer to the O5 Council high enough up the chain. For all you know, you could already be an employee of the SCP Foundation without even being aware of it. Income generated by the various front companies used by the Foundation are likely to make up a good chunk of their budget. Another key factor in the Foundation's profitability—
I'm an employee, where my raise at? SCP, come on. SCP. I ain't talked to the SCP general manager. SCP, listen to me. I'll put your signal on my hand. I would get a tattoo. Just get my rise.
Is technology. Given that the Foundation has gathered some of the greatest scientific and engineering minds in the world to protect humanity from anomalous forces, it goes without saying that they create some incredible technology, which may later trickle down into wider commercial and civilian use. And before you start saying this is crazy, it's actually an incredibly common practice with regular militaries all over the globe. Duct tape, superglue, GPS, silly putty, EpiPens, microwaves, and the internet were all made possible by military advancements. And with the Foundation having technology so advanced it puts even the most well-funded militaries to shame, it's sure to have some lucrative patents floating around out there. Not to mention the fact that the Foundation has also reclaimed and repurposed anomalous technology that surpasses even their own, which may influence some incredibly profitable consumer goods further down the line. Which is a nice segue to the next portion of this video, utilizing captured anomalies for fun and profit. Well, mostly profit, in this case. This is the much more fun and theoretical half of things, where we speculate on which SCPs would bring in the biggest bucks to fill the coffers of the SCP Foundation. And of course, stick around to the end for the most important money-making method of all. It won't be what you expect. First, SCP-096. We know what you're thinking, how do...
Wait. Did you just say SCP-096? That motherfucker crazy. They're trying to get everybody killed to get this money. To get this bread. Y'all gotta get everybody else killed. Everybody else gotta see my face before I get my bread. You know?
we monetize a mindless killing machine? Simple. We stand someone in front of it and make them look at its face, then position 096 onto a treadmill attached to a series of powerful generators. Given that 096 literally never gets tired, we will have invented a true perpetual motion machine, and the energy generated by this could replace the municipal power grid. That's surely got to be worth a few bucks, right? United States government, the Foundation awaits your call. Okay, let's get a little more serious. Have you ever heard the expression, a penny saved is a penny earned? Because as previously discussed, one of the major costs of the Foundation is labor. However, SCP-662, the butler's handbell that summons the unfailingly loyal Mr. Deeds, could solve this issue. You may be thinking, sure, Mr. Deeds can replace the labor of a couple people, but not that many. He's got physical limitations. To which we would answer, what about SCP-662 put through SCP-914, the Clockworks, on fine? We'd wager that this might lead to a bell that summons an even more effective Mr. Deeds, or better yet, multiple Mr. Deeds. You could only imagine the money the SCP Foundation would save. Upon request, he can also manifest bricks of pure gold. He's a butler that literally pays for himself. But enough about Mr. Deeds. Let's talk about you. Are you happy? Fulfilled? Do you know why you're here? A lot of people struggle with finding a sense of purpose in life. It can make it difficult to form and actualize your goals.
What is your purpose? My purpose is just to do this and just have fun. And if more people come along, sure. But I'm trying to keep my words on the video, so I'm tired a little bit. 2 more videos to go. That's my purpose.
Only it was easy to know your greatest desire, so you could finally get your life together and start working on it. Thankfully, the Foundation could help. For a price. What? You can't blame them for a little #hustle. With SCP-978, the Desire Camera, they could help people figure out what their deepest desire is. But that's not the only way to make money from this anomalous device. By taking pictures of the rich and powerful and seeing if their desires are compromising, humiliating, or even illegal, you can quickly solicit some very generous donations out of them in exchange for keeping this juicy information under wraps. Podcasts are big these days, with incredibly popular ones like the Joe Rogan Experience getting around 11 million downloads per episode. People love hearing a compelling interview or a good story. That's why, to make a little money on the side, we recommend the Foundation give SCP-1867, a talkative telepathic sea slug who goes by Lord Blackwood, his own podcast, where he would spin wild yarns, interview celebrity guests, and perhaps even host chats with other interesting SCPs. All while the Foundation cleans up on sweet
Where can I get that podcast? If that podcast exists, please give me the link for that podcast, bro. We need to listen to that podcast, bro. What you talking about? What you talking about? You got a podcast, Lord Blackwood? Pause.
Podcast sponsorship revenue. What, are you telling us you wouldn't tune in? I would. SCP-5094, Miss J's WizKid Schoolhouse, could also be converted into expensive, over-the-counter proprietary software. Think of the money that companies like Skillshare and Masterclass rake in. Miss J could guarantee perfect learning through her intensive courses, and once the word of her efficacy spreads, she might even replace traditional higher education. And who would be the financial beneficiary? The SCP Foundation. Then there's SCP-2430, the Immortal Hitler clone. He's unable to die, but feels pain at a heightened degree of sensitivity than most normal people. He's also, well, no getting around this, Hitler. And if the Foundation were able to go public about the existence of this clone, they could also take him out on tour across the globe and charge 10 to 15 bucks to punch him. People would be lining up to take a crack at the ex-Führer. And the Foundation would, of course, be the sole financial beneficiaries. Now, let's talk about pizza. The most popular pizza chain in the United States, as of this writing, is Domino's, with annual revenue of just over $14 billion. What we're wondering is, why doesn't the SCP Foundation want a slice of that lucrative pizza pie? After all, they're in possession of SCP-458, the never-ending pizza box. With the help of this bad boy, capable of producing nearly limitless quantities of pizza, they could surely start making a pretty pepperoni penny. Lego products are also a multi-billion-dollar industry, pointing towards a clear desire in the market for these charming, colorful blocks. And there's no Lego like SCP-387, the living Lego. Hardcore Lego enthusiasts all over the world would pay through the nose to experience a product like this. And seeing as they're completely safe, in both SCP nomenclature and the more colloquial sense of the phrase, the Foundation wouldn't need to worry about any lawsuits from concerned parents. They'd only need to worry about where to put all their fancy new stacks of cold hard cash. For those desiring a little escapism, the Foundation could rent out SCP-1230, A Hero is Born. This book takes its readers on fabulous bespoke dream adventures through fantastical lands, and will surely give them an experience that will last long after they finally wake up. In a world where...
Bro, give me that book. Okay, I need that. And give me that Lego. I need that. The book and the Lego. I will read the I can't curse that much. I'll read the crap out that. Yeah, crap. Ooh. I'm learning. I read the crap out of that book. Bruh.
People are willing to pay top dollar for VR experiences and creepy Facebook metaverses. Being able to enter the wondrous land of dreams is a welcome low-tech solution that would still likely make the SCP Foundation boatloads of new income. However, we live in a stressful world. Modern life has come with its wealth of new personal issues, from work troubles to the dating game. And connectivity has come at the cost of having an ever greater awareness of the troubles that plague the world at large. With costs making a lot of valuable therapy and medications unavailable to many, it's no wonder that we're undergoing a global mental health crisis. But the Foundation has a solution. SCP-999. Spend long enough time with him and he'll straight up cure everything from depression to PTSD. People all over the world would pay top dollar to achieve an immediate and effective cure to all mental maladies that only takes a few hours and has no negative side effects. Like the ultimate therapy dog, the Foundation would be rolling in the dough from an opportunity like this. And, of course, the most devious, ingenious, and overall effective method that the SCP Foundation could possibly use to make money is creating YouTube channels that pretend to just be sharing the fictional monsters and entities of a made-up online fiction project, when in fact, they're actually secretly leaking the highly classified secrets of their own organization, while selling adorable...
Do y'all know any channel like that? I don't know about any channel that will be doing that, like leaking classified information about itself. Let's watch and find out.
High-quality merchandise of some of the most lovable and iconic creatures. We can't think of any method more valuable than that. Anyway, on a completely different note, did you know that you can get your very own adorable SCP-999 plushie pictured here looking cute as all heck? All you need to do is visit www.scpswag.com, and you can have your very own tickle monster to hug anytime you please. And of course, if there are any other highly profitable anomalies you'd like to see in plush form, do take the time to make your suggestions heard down in the comments. Now, if you'll excuse us, we need to head off. After all, time is money. Now go check out SCP Foundation Boss the Administrator Explained and top 8 SCP objects you actually want for more esoteric questions about the inner workings of the SCP Foundation and its anomalies.
Well, they're making money. Let me stop. I love that video. I needed to see that video. It just came out and I was like, shit, I need to know how they made their money. And that's a good ideas too. They got a lot of SCP that can benefit. It can make you that bread. Okay? Get that bread. You got it? And what would your deepest desire be if they took a picture of you? Me, my deepest desire is to have money and just live a good life, I guess. That's just it. And have a family. Yeah, that's it. And and also my family be okay too. Yeah, that's it. Okay, everybody, that was SCP Explained Stories and Animation. Go to their channel, like, comment, subscribe to their channel. It'll be in the link description below. Like, comment, subscribe to me, the Ghost Socks. Ghost Socks. And I'll see you in the next video. I want to see the administrative boss, but I want to mix it up. I don't know what else I can do. I'm getting tired a little bit, but I'll keep going. 2 more videos.